I'm going to turn now to a couple of questions. One lengthy one and a couple short ones, but just so you know, you can ask your question, send it to ask@acl.org.au. Send it in. I've got so many. I'm going to do some episodes in which I deal with some, big meaty issues that come out of the question. So don't be discouraged if yours hasn't been answered yet. Keep sending them in, and I will address a whole bunch of them in future episodes. But for now, I'm just going to do a few at the end of the next couple of episodes before I get cracking on some more serious stuff. Another quick question I'll deal with very rapidly is somebody just wrote in and asked, why is it that there's no conservative activists? And I thought I could answer that one quickly. The simple reason is that conservative types usually have favoured the status quo, the way things are as they exist. And the activists tend to come from those people who are trying to change things. They're people who are trying to introduce new ideas and push for new ways of thinking and get new policies accepted. And they always look progressive. They always look positive because they're saying yes, yes, yes. And the conservative-minded people are saying no, 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 because they want to keep things as they are, or they've got different ideas about how things should be. And that's just the dynamic we've been under for a very long time. Conservative-minded people say no. Activist-minded people say yes on the whole. And the activists are the ones that have slowly been chipping away and pushing aggressively and raising their causes and advocating for them and so on and so on. But here's the thing. We've actually reached a tipping point, I think, in society. We've reached a tipping point whereby, people who would have once thought of themselves as conservative are finding themselves potentially even in the minority. There is like an age band that's running through the 30s at the moment. Maybe it's up to 40 now, where people below that have a slightly different wiring of the brain after a slightly postmodernistic worldview on the whole. And people above that have a sort of a Judeo-Christian wiring of the brain. And you might say they're more likely to be conservative. Conservative political parties love the older vote. And then you might say the younger people are more likely to be postmodernists and therefore different in their outlook. That's kind of reaching a tipping point where perhaps now the majority is in that postmodernist bracket. And also the relentless advocacy of the postmodernist types, and I'm using that term so loosely, so please don't read too much into it, but the advocacy of that is starting to impact the worldviews of more people. And so I think that it's going to change. We put out a thing recently where we encourage people to become activists for truth, ACL activists. And we actually are having a day of action in March where we have people in the field doing letterboxing and all this kind of stuff. We're going to do more and more and more and more of that activist-based stuff. And some people got a bit upset with the use of the word activist because they associate it with such negative things. But here's the reality. We're entering into a brave new world where the activists are going to believe in things like marriage. They're going to believe in things like the sanctity of life. The radicals are going to be there arguing for sexual purity. The radicals are going to be talking about family. That's where we are headed. We, people with views like that will be in the absolute minority and pushing by saying this is good, this is right. Hey world, listen up. There's a better way. There's God's way. And that is definitely going to be the way things change. So you know what? Some of us who once would have thought, no, we're not an activist. Well, brave new world. Perhaps we're going to be activists after all. And perhaps, that's one of the things that our society really needs right now. People who believe in good things and are willing to put feet to their faith and make them happen. Hey guys, make sure you click like to like the video or hit the subscribe button down here and click on the bell so you don't miss any notifications. And to watch more videos, just click here. Cheers. Go on, click one. You know you want to.